Officer and the heads of Forest Botany Division, Forest Genetics Division at Bangladesh Forest Research Institute in Chittagong. Uh, a special guest is Amir Hussain Chaudhary, Chief Conservator of Forest Bangladesh, and Mr. Mark Peters, Director PT Bamboo Nusa Verde, Yoga Jakarta, Indonesia. Mark Peters is the Director of PT Bamboo Nusa Verde, Yoga Jakarta, Indonesia. He has been improving the R&D production and operation of BNV. He started his bamboo journey in 2007 and has been active in lecturing and promoting activities for bamboo to support national development in Indonesia and overseas, organizing bamboo events to create awareness and giving exposure to BNV's capabilities and know-how. His studies and publications are on planting bamboo, sample making of bamboo, end products, and applications. He is supporting local and overseas customers with our bamboo know-how, inclusive of planting in different climates, environments, and soils. He is also executing. Hello. He is also executing, assisting, and giving guidance for the survey evaluation of bamboo planting, maintenance, growing, and yields, including carbon sequestration. Yeah. Okay. I would request, yeah, I would request Mr. Kamesh Salam to present the book to the chief guest and guest of honor, and then give the initial remarks. Mr. Mr. Kamesh Salam, would you please give the introductory remarks, please?
Thank you, Balipara Foundation and Government of Bangladesh, especially the Minister of Forest and Environment, who has given this platform to discuss on bamboo. And we are going for the next 2 days, we'll be discussing on bamboo. And today is the beginning. And we are happy with Honorable Minister, who herself is present here to inaugurate this event. ম্যাম থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ, আপনাকে অনেক ধন্যবাদ জানাই, আপনি এসছেন আমাদের মধ্যে আর আমাদের এই প্রোগ্রামের অনুষ্ঠানটা আপনি উদ্ঘাটন করছেন। And also thankful to Amir Hussain Chaudhary Sahab, who is here personally. And also Bangladesh and India has a huge bamboo resources. And bamboo is when the theme is ecology for economy, but bamboo has more than ecology and economy, environment, employment, so many things that bamboo can look into that. But we rediscovered bamboo very late. So it is high time that we again relook the entire potential of bamboo. So with these few words, again, today my speech will be more on the bamboo value chain management. আমরা যখন বাঁশ দেখি শুধু we just see that bamboo only, but we never look at the value chain. Today somebody came and asked me, I want to make pulp. I said, don't make pulp if you have to burn the entire bamboo. Don't make paper if you have to burn the entire bamboo. Every part of bamboo can be utilized. So in the next 3 days, 2 days, we have speakers speaking every value addition, right from plantation, then the carbon credit part, which is very important. Carbon credit is an issue which we need to look into bamboo carbon credit. Though the standards were not developed, we need to establish or standards for bamboo. Boluka has different standards. Tulda has a Jati has different. And Muli has different standards. We need to develop standards, and it is not rocket science. We can do that. Now, another thing is that we have got speakers from NID Ahmedabad. We have got people speaking from Indonesia on bamboo plantation. We have speakers from FAO in Bangkok. We have speakers from Taiwan. We have speakers from many countries, from Ghana. We have speakers from different countries who could not come, but they'll be joining online for this event. The whole idea is to disseminate knowledge on bamboo sector, how far we can utilize bamboo. The timber takes 30 years, bamboo takes 4 years. This is the message that we can give. Even Balipara Foundation is taken very keen interest on bamboo. Why? Because it can regenerate very fast. Plus, the whole carbon credit, the issue of self-reliance, the issue of the many things like even housing, rural housing can be one big issue. But why are we not doing that? We are throwing away our bamboo house. We want to live in Paka building. Why can't we come back and live in our natural bamboo house, which is all disaster resistant and also climate in earthquake proof? Like I come from Northeast, we have a lot of bamboo house similar here in Bangladesh. We have the same culture, we have the same food habit, everything is same. So I think is sharing on bamboo can be one part where I think is beginning today that India and Bangladesh can work hand in hand in bamboo technology, in terms of bamboo knowledge sharing, and also to look into bamboo market. When I have to take bamboo from Assam to Chennai, I have to go all above West Bengal. If I have to export, I have to take to Haldia, I have to take all over, West Bengal, around more than 1,000 kilometers. If you can use this transit through Bangladesh, that can be one way. Secondly, what I see is that lots of bamboo flows down from Mizoram, Tripura to Bangladesh, and those are unaccounted for. When I say unaccounted, মানে নদীতে এমনি চলে আসে এখানে কেউ তোলে, it is being utilized here. Why can't we legalize that? So that the farmers or people who are growing can get more income out of that. We are giving money to the mafias and the all the smugglers. They're enjoying the benefit. So there are a few things like how we can enhance the trade in bamboo. So all these 3 days we'll be talking on livelihood, we are talking on housing, we are talking on carbon credit, we are talking on plantation. So I think it's a very good session that is coming up. And also I'm happy that a lot of bamboo practitioners from Bangladesh they here. We have got friends like Debbie Howe, then BRI, and many from the forest department who has a rich experience in bamboo are here. So I believe that this knowledge sharing will go a long way. And also lots of people online they're watching, in YouTube and Facebook Live, which is being live streamed live now. So thank you. With these few words, again, I would like to welcome Honorable Minister and Amir Hussain Saab and everyone here, and so that we can have a good session today. Thank you so much.
মাননীয় মন্ত্রী মহোদয়, আপনি যদি কিছু বলেন।
Yeah, we can show, but we have to go to the side.
আচ্ছা প্রেজেন্টেশন দেন কতক্ষণ সেটা প্রেজেন্টেশন কতক্ষণ আমি ওখানে
Is there any speaker? Yeah, I was going to speak, so I shortcut because of sitting arrangement. I can do now. So okay.
She'll have to go there.
No. এদিকে বসতে হবে। Who's the first speaker in this thing? Mine or somebody else? Anyone from here? I'll ask Marco to come. Someone will come on back from that. Marco, can you come on line? You're ready, no? You can just start
First presentation will by Mr. Marco. So please take your time. I've already said.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm just checking to see if you can see me.
No, put the Yermit. Yermit level. No, not this one. Yermit. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Okay, Marco, we can see you.
Okay, great. And I will share my presentation. 1 second. Okay. Can you please confirm that you see the screen correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marco Piazza. I'm a forestry officer with the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations in the regional office of Bangkok, regional office for Asia and the Pacific. I'd like to thank you kindly for inviting me to this important event. I always very glad to join these initiatives and these roundtables on bamboo, primarily because bamboo is a lifelong passion for me, and also because here I'm also speaking on behalf of representing FAO through my job. And we do have a bamboo agenda that we are trying to push forward. And so I see this as further opportunities for networking and for meeting people and continuing a dialogue. I will share just a few slides focusing on the work that we are doing and have done in the past years as FAO, and in particularly in the area of bamboo resource assessment, which is try to understand how much and what quality bamboo we have at the national, regional, also at the global level. A lot of the work that we do with FAO is in collaboration with INBAR, the International Network for Bamboo and Rattan. Recently, we have signed a memorandum of understanding with them, which is a partnership to strengthen bamboo and rattan's contribution to sustainable development. We have a work package, and under that, we have a task force specifically on bamboo resource assessment, and this is the one that I'm dealing with the most, more in first person. Just a few highlights of some of our work recently and our involvement. For example, you may be aware that just a month ago, INBAR organized the second Global Bamboo and Rattan Congress. It was a very big event, and we as FAO joined together with INBAR, and we organized a parallel session specifically on the assessment of bamboo resources and ecosystem services. The rationale for this, as it may be clear and obvious, but the rationale is that despite the recognized range of benefits and potential in many countries, bamboo is still not managed sustainably or is not used effectively. And the main reason is because there is a lack of knowledge on how much bamboo there is. Both at global and national level, there is a growing demand for updated information on bamboo resources. So we feel this as a need that it's arising. As an example, the Forest Resource Assessment of FAO, which is a compilation of forestry data every 5 years. The last one, when asked about bamboo information, only 23 countries reported information on bamboo. And there was an estimation of 35 million hectares and more than 1,600 species. However, we feel that this is an underestimation of the real bamboo extent. If this presentation will be shared, I put a link to the session material in the video in case you're interested in exploring more. There's a few other work that I like to mention. This is a few years back, but we have worked on a bamboo for land restoration policy report. This was presented at the previous Global Bamboo and Rattan Congress in 2018. We have done also some other work in Ethiopia, some guiding principles for sustainable bamboo forest management and planning. Since this event is organized in Bangladesh, I wanted to mention a few years back, we collaborated on, we call it Safe Plus projects in Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. And there was a forestry component, and we worked on rehabilitation of degraded lands, stabilization of landslide, including bamboo. This was in and around refugee camps. So there was training on bamboo propagation techniques and seedling distribution. So this was a even more concrete type of exercise and work that was done in collaboration with FAO. However, as I mentioned in the title of my presentation, the focus is on bamboo, the assessment of bamboo resources. So I have to go back to this publication, which is from 2005, so already quite a few years back. This was a thematic study prepared again in the framework of FAO's Global Forest Resources Assessment. I have to go back to this one because there is not a newer version of this. This work was not followed up. So this study at the time was triggered already by the lack of reliable and comprehensive data on bamboo resources. We collected data on at a global level, and from Asia we received the information from 16 countries for a total of 24 million hectares. You can see the name of the countries that responded to us. But again, the conclusion was that statistics are often very poor, inconsistent. They are based on different definitions, methodologies, and so there is a strong need for a common methodological approach. I was glad to be one of the co-authors of this publication. So I receive notices when this publication is cited by other studies, and we have seen a significant increase of citation to this publication, which means that a lot of people still refer to this. But of course, this is already quite a bit dated. Regarding some of the current efforts on bamboo resource assessment, I wanted to just highlight a few positive aspects or a few conditions that should make it easier for us to assess the real extent of bamboo. First of all, the increased availability of high resolution imagery that go along with the methods and tools. It's more and more it's becoming easier and cheaper to really analyze and have access to high resolution images, and this is one prime source for assessing also bamboo information. As I mentioned before, the scientific community regularly produces studies, including on the assessment methodologies via remote sensing. So there is quite a bit of movement of people working and studying on it. I mentioned the forest resource assessment before, so we have noticed that there are some issues with classification for bamboo. Somehow, bamboo always it's not easy to classify. In some definitions, it's considered as under forest. In some other condition, is considered as a subclass of forest or as other land with a tree cover or as a non-timber forest product. So this doesn't really help in obtaining clear statistics. Another source of collecting data on bamboo is through national forest inventories. This is actually my day job, my regular job. This is what I do. In this case, bamboo is almost always part of the assessment of the field data collection. This is a way in which we can collect information on species, on number of columns per clump or average DBH and biophysical characteristics. And again, since we are here in Bangladesh, or at least you are in Bangladesh, the National Forest Inventory of Bangladesh did a lot of collected a lot of information on bamboo. They did an excellent job. We were a part of it as FAO. We supported it, and we are very glad because the NFI in Bangladesh is now one of the example that we follow to and export to other countries. And I believe there will be a presentation, if not on the NFI, at least on the assessment of bamboo in Bangladesh in particular. I would also like to acknowledge a couple of publications, a couple of initiatives from INBAR. One is a manual for bamboo carbon assessment, which really goes through detail on how to assess biomass in the field for bamboo. And also a wider initiative, which is, they call it GABAR, which is the Global Assessment of Bamboo and Rattan for Green Development. This wants to be a bit of a platform, a bit of a networking opportunities for countries to share data and to assess let's say, build capacity for countries to assess bamboo resources. This has been going on for a few years. I understand there are some issues with funding, with resources. So again, also as FAO, we are trying to support this initiative, which is led by INBAR. I also wanted to acknowledge, in this case, it's a product from FAO, from where I speak from. And again, this is too short to go too much into details, but I mentioned the significant advancement of remote sensing data. And CEPAL, if you have time, if you're interested, I encourage you to look into it. I put the website there, and basically in CEPAL, the users are they can query and process satellite data in a very quick and efficient way. And the main advantage is that in the past we had to have big computers with a big processing capacity. In this case, this new technology allows to connect to cloud-based supercomputers and geospatial data infrastructure. So in this case, the users don't have to have all this capacity in IT sense. This has been very successful for several years now. There's thousands of users. So, and we are looking into using this tool also to do an assessment on Bamboo and to strengthen the capacity at the country level. So this was just just small inputs, and I hope you, if triggers some interest, that you can either come back to me or also look for more information yourself through the links that I shared. In summary, basically, we are trying to go towards an improved Bamboo resource assessment. I mentioned that the knowledge of the extent and the status of Bamboo resources is crucial for sustainable management. You need to know what you have. You need to know the quality and the situation of your bamboo forest in order to properly capitalize on its multi-purpose potential. I have mentioned that methodologies and tools are available, so there's nothing really stopping for doing that. And a harmonized global approach and more capacity at the national level is required to establish bamboo monitoring system. We have monitoring system. We, as FAO, we help countries to establish national forest monitoring system, and bamboo should really be part of it. And one other item that I wanted to mention is that this monitoring system should have certain characteristics. First of all, it should be accessible. Many times we know that forestry data are scattered in different ministries. So we call for open data sharing and data sharing agreements between ministries. We also call for a monitoring system which are relevant, meaning that they should collect the information that is useful, that we can then transfer to decision makers and policymakers in a way that it's understandable to them. And also, this monitoring system should be sustainable, meaning that should be part of the regular work of a forestry department or a ministry of agriculture. There should be funds allocated for his sustainable life for this monitoring system, as well as trained staff who can actually benefit and manage these systems. So this is my last slide. I'd like to thank you for your attention. Again, I'm really glad to be part of this, and I'm really glad that worldwide there are this initiative to push the bamboo agenda, because I think it's very important. Thank you again, and good afternoon to everyone again.
Marco, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. If there's any questions, we'll get back to you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum. Our next speaker is Mark Peters. He is director, PT Bamboo Nusa Bardek, Jakarta, India. Mark Peters is the director of PT Bamboo Nusa Bardek, Jakarta, Indonesia. He has been working the research and development, production and operation of B and W. He started his bamboo journey in 2007 and has been active in lecturing and promoting activities for bamboo support for national development in Indonesia and overseas, organizing bamboo events to create awareness, giving exposure to BN-based capabilities to know-how. His studies and publications are on planting bamboo and sample making of bamboo and products and applications. He is supporting local and overseas customers with our bamboo know-how, inclusive of planting in different climates and environments. He is also assisting in giving guidance for the survey and evaluation of bamboo planting, maintenance, growing, and yields, including bamboo carbon sequestration. I would like to invite Mark Peters. Mark Peters, please. So, please.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. I don't know if wait, if you see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
I have to switch screen. Wait, I have to switch screen. I think. Wait a moment. I have to switch screen.
Mark, the previous one was okay. We could see your screen.
Is this the one okay? Is the one this one okay?
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for promoting bamboo. Thank you for attending this seminar. So let's start. I have a lot of slides. I have a lot of stories. Just relax and see how it goes. My experience in bamboo dates back from 2007 when I was in Indonesia and I lost my job as a telecom expert, and then I met a person in Belgium who was making bamboo, and that was Oprins. So Oprins, this is Oprins plant in Belgium making bamboo for the European market. There I met Jan Oprins and Johan Gillis, who was the pioneer. Johan is the pioneer to make bamboo tissue culture, BPIT, bamboo biotechnology. We have produced 25 million plants, and Johan is also the inventor of the super formula and has patented the license to make bamboo plantlets. We do that since we are very much used for promoting bamboo. The picture in the center, it's used by several communities, several organizations to attract bamboo investment, claiming that they support bamboo growing, planting, and all that. But in fact, the person who do that never bought one plant for us. So that was the reason that we rather stopped promoting bamboo. Or we patented, in fact, our technology and our name, just to know that we promote bamboo, but please don't use our facilities and our bamboo to get money and not buying plants from us. This is where we are located. We are in Indonesia, Central Java, in the area of Yogyakarta. We have 20,000 square meters. We have nursery. We have, of course, the lab, and we have greenhouses where plants grow. So this is the view of the laboratory, the laminar places. We have 13 operators, and it's all temperature controlled, light controlled, and humidity controlled. So it's a very, very clean environment. This is the greenhouses, how they look like, and also the nursery. On the bottom right is the nursery. We can have up to 500,000 plants in stock. So we grow them up out of the bottle. We have bamboo samples, model plants on the other side of the street where people can see how our bamboo made from the lab, the tissue culture technology. And every bamboo has a marking when it came out of the the laboratory, when it was put in the greenhouse, when it was being put in the nursery in the poly bag, and when it was planted in the field. So we can very well follow up how the bamboo grows. How it is made, yeah, everybody I think will know. We take a note, then we try to multiply. We had a very low success rate in 2020, only 0.62%. We managed to produce. Normal companies would go bankrupt, but we continue to try and to improve. So in the stage 2, there we have multiplication. We had still a lot of problems there. And then it's stage 3 that is better. Then we get rooting, and then it gets to stage 4 under tunnels in plugs. And then 5 we can send all over the world. Or we go to stage 6 where we can plant in the field. So in theory, we can multiply every month. So in theory, we can make 1 million plants, or nearly 1 million plants in a year. They are all identical. They grow in ideal condition. They are vigorous. They are uniform plants. They have increased biomass, and they have a high yield compared to the classical propagation method by branch cuttings. Yeah, then you have only 9 plants. We have a few 100,000. This is the plants we have in stock for the moment. We have 41 different species. We have bambusa, we have Dendrocalamus, Gigantochlora, Guadua, Cirsostachium, and Tirsostachys species. We have different clones, so that's why you see different names here. The green ones are the industrial bamboos. They are the big ones. The yellow ones that are industry and ornamental plants. And then the orange ones that is really ornamental. We produce those, although due to COVID we had to scale down, but this is still the stock we have in the nursery. These are the big ones we promote. This is Dendrocalamus asper, Balcoa, Blumiana, Vulgaris, Hamilton, Brandisi, Giganteus. All can be used for industry to make end products, from building, plywood, biomass, pulp, paper, textile, charcoal. And we select the best mother plants to grow, so they have the biggest yield, also the biggest in size from their species. Jan, he started in Bali in 2000. He regreened Gunung Batur. This is after 7 years, it went all green. They bring tissue plants in a bag from Belgium. At that time in 2000, it was still possible. Now it's impossible because of all the regulations that you have to comply with, phytosanitary inspection and all that. So this is not possible anymore, but we do that. Another example is what we did is a bamboo plantation. It's again the Dendrocalamus asper. You can see in April, we planted in January. And in March 2013, so 2001, 2 years later, they were already harvesting the columns to make Chinese spraying paper. So that went very well. The idea was to plant other crops in between, but the bamboo did grow so well that there was a shadow. So no other plants did grow, like is shown on the picture on September 2015. We also rehabilitated coal mines, Kaltim Prima coal, one of the biggest coal mines in Indonesia. Unfortunately, for us, they tried many trees, but because of the topsoil is so poor, so small, it's only 50, 80 centimeters, nothing did grow. And then they found us, they found the bamboo, and now it's totally green. Unfortunately, it's not being used for anything. It's just to make it green, to make the soil again planted by something. Bamboo being the pioneer plant, so probably they can plant other trees in between. Bukit Asam is another coal mine. Aman Mineral is a gold mine. Also, they plant bamboo. Ketapan in West Kalimantan, this was a piece of land that was just sand, crystal, quartz crystal, nothing did grow. There again, we planted bamboo, and then in the end, it's a total forest that is growing there. It is also planted because of making biomass for electricity. Others we did in the first off-grid bamboo power plant in the world in Mentawai, West Indonesia. Their community was supported by planting bamboo. All the seedlings came from us. They're growing very well. So they are as the feedstock for the the biomass power plant. They use gasification with the technology from India, Angkor. So we have also in Africa, there again, our partners there who bought the plants do local community development. In Ghana, they planted for firing up for cooking. In Congo, it's 150,000 plants from us. It's for biomass. In Benin, it's for biomass pellets. For Europe, in Tanzania. So, and then we sent to South Africa, where they are growing up the small plants in the nursery in South Africa. We have also, this is probably the biggest success, I think, in Malawi. It was the opening of the World Economic Forum, where they stated in 2019, the bamboo is making Africa green. And there it is, all bamboos from us, and now they are being harvested. So in 2014, we started to supply, and now they are growing up and bamboo is being harvested. So it's also very, very dry area, 9 months, no rain. So all the bamboo got brown. But once there is rain, 3 months later, it's all green again. And now it's amazing that in this area, it's a green island in the middle of no trees, all green. We send to Africa, we send to South America, to Australia, to the Philippines, to Cambodia, to Vietnam. This is also in total. One time they asked me, Mark, where did you send the bamboos? And in fact, I never paid attention to it, but then I made a list what we have. So we have supplied bamboos to 37 countries over the world. So that's quite a lot. And they are growing, not some particular species on particular countries. How we do that? Yeah, we take, since we cannot export with soil, we pack them, we remove the soil, we pack cocoa peat, we put them in a plastic bag, then neatly packed into a box, and that's going overseas. Or for locally, we pack them on a truck and send it to the location in Indonesia. In the places where we send by area, then our customers need to prepare polybags. Then they plant in polybags, 30 days probably acclimatization, and then they can grow up and be planted in the field. If it's plug, it will take a little bit longer to grow up until they can be planted in the field. This is an example of a delivery in October to South Africa. We shipped 43,000 plugs. And we had a survival of 99%. Extraordinary. We never had it before. That high percentage. It plants from 10 centimeters, 12 centimeters until 15 centimeters tall. But they survived, and they survived because we could control the whole trajectory, the whole transport from Yogyakarta to South Africa. The temperature was ideal. Perfect. So the plants also did or do grow well in South Africa. This is only to show that the picture on the right is that bamboo needs fertilizer, needs to be helped in non-fertile land. This is a comparison. On the left side, it is having manure, and the other one on the right side, not. There is a big difference in growth. So we have to help bamboo to grow by giving them some extra food. Yeah, this is when you can use from the shoots until structure. You can do markings for selective harvesting or clean cut, like is done for paper manufacturing in Brazil. This is a very big picture. This is the green gold, the big picture. We are only on the top in the red circle. We have tissue culture. We have a nursery, and we support plantation, and that is on farm. But off farm, we have all these possibilities that can be done with bamboo, like making carbon, pharmaceutical equipments, energy, food, building materials, pulp and paper, textile. And then there is the impact, of course, the impact on the environment, the social impact on education, empowerment. And then there is also funding. There should be funding, and also the government who can help in the big picture to be realized. Then we know all the sustainable development goals. Bamboo has 14 out of 17. Like we calculate, bamboo is used for nearly any application. We have thousands, 10,000 applications in production. And those you can find in the Booming Bamboo book of Pablo van der Lucht. And there he describes all the things that can be done with bamboo. I had the same, I tried to promote bamboo, so this is a collaboration which I did. In fact, it is a little bit frustration also, because I tried to promote bamboo in Indonesia, and then they say, why you plant bamboo? Bamboo is the plant of the poor. Why you do that? It's and then I said, okay, let me try. I make flooring, I made building constructions, I made casings, I make how to burn bamboo, I make briquettes, I make granulate, I make wood, particle boards, and I made paper. Every slide has a story. Every slide is it's a separate presentation what problems we had. Then February 23, we made pull-up. We sent, I got a contract to supply pull-up 10,000 tons per month for Korea. It's impossible because there is no plantation in Indonesia to support such a huge amount. We made the cycle. We sent the bamboo chip to China for tissue paper manufacturing. Torrefied bamboo is also there to replace coal. Then co-firing with bamboo was done in South Africa. Our bamboo from Indonesia was shipped there to prove that co-firing with coal was possible. My daughter, she has an ice cream shop, so she was convinced, let's go on pure nature. So she uses sticks that are again from bamboo. We made pellets. We supplied bamboo dust for starting up power plants in Indonesia. So all applications, collaboration, just to convince that bamboo is really something that you can use. And I made the samples so I could share with all the customers, to the people I make presentation. Then we made, of course, the studies. We made studies on flooring. We made studies on where to plant, what is the yield. And then we made classifications. We have evaluations of the bamboo for shoots. What is the taste? How is it growing and all that? This is all things we have done for promoting and making bamboo more accepted to many people, and to explain that we can do. We have cooperations with universities. We have institutes for pulp and paper. We have institute with local communities. We have cooperations with a lot of universities, local Indonesia and overseas. We do also another thing. We do rattan as bone replacement. We have an agreement with Green Bone. Look up Green Bone, Italy. It's bamboo. It's not bamboo, but it's rattan replacement for bone. Amazing application. This also we do. We promoted bamboo biochar. It took a while to convince the University of Gajah Mada to make bamboo, to use bamboo charcoal as a soil improvement. Here on the bottom you can see on the right side there is bamboo charcoal, in the middle there is no bamboo charcoal. So this is again an application that was launched in cooperation with University in Belgium, in Ghent, and then also with 4 other universities in Indonesia. Took 2 years, and then they have proper evaluation and appreciation of the bamboo, that it's good for the environment. Then we promote bamboo against erosion as for river banks and for tallies. And then also because of the root system is very much developed, so it's 5 meters, so that's why it contains very well the soil. And then of course there is the litter, which again makes the soil very fertile and also contain the water. But then people come to us and then they say, okay, we will want to plant bamboo. But we hear about carbon offset, carbon credits. Yeah, and then there is our facts. The facts is global warming. There has to be carbon set off based on natural-based solution. Bamboo is superior, and the carbon price will go up. So bamboo investment in a plantation should be a good business. In COP25 in Paris, there was such a proposal. In COP26, it didn't make anything. And then COP27 in Egypt, yes, there is a climate fund but it's the cost on of progress on emissions. So it's a compensation for our emissions. So this is not 100%, but at least there is a fund, and probably if only a small part can go to bamboo, then I'm already very happy. So then, since they asked me how many carbon storage is there in bamboo, I made an evaluation, and I see there is a lot, but all are a little bit contradictory. All is different figures. All is most of it is based on a runner, on monopodial bamboo. On the clumping bamboo, there is not so much available. So I took the initiative myself, and I said, okay, let's define a more exact bamboo carbon sequestration calculation, and that we divide in 3 parts. There is soil organic carbon, and also advanced weathering of the silica. Then the above ground and the below ground biomass. So that is the columns, the root, the soil, the litter. And then based on planting, yearly increase in the standing and harvested columns. And then the end products made from bamboo, that is, but that should be include transport in the processing. So this will allow us to do a life cycle assessment, and that should become total carbon negative. We have set up a new total team, which is in Belgium. There is the Kleine Boerderij, who has a bamboo forest. There they do the soil carbon and also the above ground and below ground, and then that's in cooperation with Agro Bio Institute in John Blue. Then we have the Gajah Mada University, who will do also who is doing the above and the below ground. And then we are a little bit the coordinator, and we have still community of in our neighborhood where are also bamboos that can be tested. So soil organic carbon, this was done in Belgium. There is a comparison to a meadow where the carbon is, the evaluation of the carbon and how much carbon is there in the bamboo forest, Philostachys auriculaata, and there we see that bamboo has nearly 100 gram per kilogram carbon compared to 110. So there is a difference really. Bamboo stores carbon in the soil. Similar was done in Indonesia, but of course the bamboo is much bigger, and there again we do also the evaluation with the University of Gajah Mada. We are doing the above ground and below ground. So these are the bamboos. They are cut into pieces. They are counted, the columns, the length, the weight, the leaves, the branches, the stem, the rhizome, the roots. Everything is calculated in that. And then for another one from Bambusa Balcoa, we do the same, exactly the same. So there is a total team from the university doing all this and testing to become a formula. We should make a formula, the allometric formula that will give us a detailed or approximately detailed definition per species on what is the carbon stored in over a period of time. We know what the bamboo is because I did grow myself. I bring a plant in 2010. I planted in my garden. I measured every month how it did grow. And my wife didn't like it because she said, if our bamboo grows like that, he will take over the garden. So she put a concrete ring around the bamboo. But yeah, the bamboo did grow. And a few years later, 4 years later, it was cracking already the concrete. Unfortunately, this is how we started. This is the polybag, and then every year you see how many new columns are there. But it's not anymore there, the bamboo, because this was rented land, and in the end it was only used to take out the shoots to make vegetables. Everybody was queuing. All our neighbors, our friends came because the bamboo shoot of this Dendrocalamus asper, as also called the sweet bamboo, is very nice to eat as a vegetable. We have all these species in, of course, we have all these different species in Bamboo Nusa Verde. So again,
Mark?
here we can, yes?
How many stripes
Yes.
more? How many
5,
stripes more?
two.
Okay.
The last one, this is one. So this is it. So we have all the different pieces. I want to share only one thing. What happened to us is that we are very close under a very big volcano. We erupted in 2010, in 2000 November, in 2010 October, there was a Dendrocalamus asper flowering. We had seeds. So I see there is a lot of fuss now in the social media about seeds, but unfortunately, I know what seeds from Dendrocalamus are. The seeds that are for the moment on the market are not from Dendrocalamus asper. So I want only to highlight this, that people should be aware that the source, where is the source coming from? Dendrocalamus asper doesn't flower regularly. It only flowers when he is stressed, and he was stressed because of the volcanic eruption. You can see here the volcanic eruption. Everything was dead. First thing what did grow was bamboo. And here I'm standing on top of the man's house. He is the head of the village. And he said, Mark, you have to plant bamboo, because we know from our grandfathers, they said when the bamboo erupts, when the bamboo explodes better, then we know, we hear it, then we know we have to, because then the hot gases come down the hill, down the mountain, and then we are in danger. So that is a natural alarm from a bamboo. I can do this not alone. I have a big team, so this is the team. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to my experience in bamboo and my promotion that I want to help Indonesia and the world looking more to bamboo. Thank you.
আপনি এবার বলেন।
উপস্থিত পার্টিসিপেন্টস, অবশ্যই তার মধ্যে বক্তারাও আছেন এবং শ্রোতারাও আছেন, সকলকে শুভ অপরাহ্ন। আজকের এই দিনটি আমার জন্য অনেক কর্মব্যস্ত। একেবারে সকালবেলায় 9:30টায় বের হয়েছি, রাত 12টায় খুলনা পৌঁছাতে পারবো নাকি জানি না। তো যাই হোক, সেই জন্য আপনাদের নির্ধারিত যে ফর্মে ওই অনুষ্ঠানটি চলা উচিত ছিল, আমার জন্য সেটা বিঘ্নিত হয়েছে। আমিও ইচ্ছে করে করিনি এই দেরিটা, কারণ আমার মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর কার্যালয়ে প্রোগ্রাম ছিল, সেখানেই দেরি হয়েছে। তো যাই হোক, আপনারা এতক্ষণ ধরে যে স্লাইডগুলো দেখলেন, তাতে আপনাদের অবশ্যই জ্ঞান অনেক বৃদ্ধি হয়েছে এবং আমি চলে যাওয়ার পরেও আপনারা সেটাকে উপভোগ করে যাবেন। তো যাই হোক, আমরা ছোটবেলার থেকেই হয়তোবা বাঁশ এত বেশি দেখে এসেছিলাম যে তার কোনো কদর আছে এটা হয়তোবা বুঝতাম না, কিংবা তখন পশ্চিমবঙ্গেই হোক কিংবা আমাদের বাংলাদেশেই হোক, এই জলবায়ু পরিবর্তনের যে কষাঘাত সেটা ছিল না। যে স্যালাইনিটির ফলে আমাদের সারা দেশে সব ধরনের ফসল, সব ধরনের গাছ যে সারা দেশ জুড়ে হতো, সেগুলো হয়তো এখন আমরা ভুলেই যেতে শুরু করেছি। অমুক জায়গায় অমুক হয় না, কিন্তু একসময় এটা ছিল না। তাই প্রত্যেকটা বাড়িতে দেখা যেত বাঁশ ঝাড় আছেই, সেটা দুই বঙ্গেই, পশ্চিমবঙ্গে এবং এই বাংলাদেশে। এখন আমি যে এই এলাকার সংসদ সদস্য, সেখানে তো এগুলো মানে মানুষের চিন্তাই করতে পারে না। এখনকার বাচ্চারা জানেই না যে তাদের বাড়িতে এই ধরনের গাছ ছিল। সম্পূর্ণ কোনো ফল নেই, কোনো ফসল নেই, কিচ্ছু নেই, খালি চিংড়ি ঘের চিংড়ি ঘের চিংড়ি ঘের। তো যাই হোক, তখন আমরা দেখতাম যে প্রত্যেকের বাড়িতেই আসলে তাদের প্রয়োজনীয় যা কিছু কৃষি পণ্য সব নিজেরাই তৈরি করতো। একসময়ে এই কেনা বেচার সিস্টেম গ্রাম বাংলায় মানে যোগাযোগ সমস্যা থাকার জন্য প্রত্যেকে নিজেরটা তৈরি করত। অতএব সেই ধান থেকে শুরু হোক, বিভিন্ন ধরনের ফসল যাই হোক এমনকি ফল টল প্রত্যেকে নিজের হতো এবং বাঁশ ঝাড়ও নিজস্ব হতো। সেই বাঁশ দিয়ে নিজেদের বেড়া টেড়া, যদিও আসলে মূল যেখানে থাকতাম সেগুলি বিল্ডিং হলেও পরবর্তী যে রান্নাঘর আরো ছোট ছোট অনেক কিছু, গ্রাম বাংলা তো বিরাট বিরাট বড় বড় এলাকা জুড়ে বাড়ি, কত কিছুই হতো, সেগুলো করতো। সবচাইতে যে জিনিসটা আমি ভয় পেতাম, আমি 4 বছর বয়সে প্রথম জেনেছি যে বাঁশের ব্যবহার কি, যেদিন আমার বাবা মারা গেছিলেন। মানে আমরা যখন এই পৃথিবী থেকে চলে যাই তখনও কিন্তু সেই বাঁশের প্রয়োজনটুকু হয়। সেই জন্য এই শব্দটি আমার কাছে ভালো লাগতো না। কিন্তু পরবর্তীতে আবার আস্তে আস্তে মানে আমার মানে চিন্তাধারা একটু পরিবর্তন হয়েছে। একসময় যখন দেখেছি যে বাঁশের গাছ থেকে যে ছোট্ট যখন চারাটি বের হয় সেটাকে একটা হাঁড়ি দিয়ে ঢেকে দিত এবং সেইগুলি খাওয়া যেত, সেগুলি আমার খুব ফেভারিট ছিল। এই তখন থেকেই আবার বাঁশ ভালোবাসতে শুরু করলাম। তো যাই হোক, প্রতিটি কাজে বাঁশের ব্যবহার সেই সময়েও দেখেছি। পরবর্তীতে এই যে আমার শ্বশুরবাড়ি এখন, সেখানে তো অতিরিক্ত বাঁশের ব্যবহার ছিল। এখন আর ওসব কিছুই নেই। কিন্তু এখন বাংলাদেশ, এখন সেই আগের বাংলাদেশ আর নেই। না হোক কোনো জায়গায় বাঁশ, তাতে কি হলো? তার যে চাহিদাটা, এইটা পূরণ করার মতো সকল পণ্যেরই যেরকম সমাহার সারা বাংলাদেশে আছে, সেরকম ভাবে আমরা বাঁশ সর্বত্রই পেয়ে যাই। আমাদের রামপালে তো একটা বাঁশেরই মার্কেট আছে, সত্যি। তো এই মন্ত্রণালয়ে আসার পর আমি আবার বাঁশের আরো অন্য রূপও জেনেছি। কক্সবাজারে খুব সম্ভব না এটা? 21 না 22 রকমের বাঁশের প্রজাতি আছে। কয় রকম আছে? এখন 33, তখন 2 এর ঘরে ছিল। আমি যখন দেখেছি তখন 2 এর ঘরে ছিল। হুম, ছিল। এবং বোধহয় উত্তরবঙ্গেও আছে ডোমার, না কোথায়? নীলফামারী, ওই তো ডোমারে। কিন্তু সেখানে আমি যেতে পারিনি, কারণ আসলে আমি এত বেশি এলাকা মুখে যাই যে সব প্রোগ্রাম আগের থেকে বাতিল করার সম্ভাবনা, হঠাৎ করে বললেই আমি সব প্রোগ্রাম বাতিল করতে পারি না। যদি আগের থেকে জানতাম আমি অবশ্যই যেতাম, কিন্তু সেটা হয়নি। সেটা হঠাৎ করে বলা হয়েছে, যে ধরনের প্রোগ্রাম ছিল সেটা বাইরের কারো আসার কথা ছিল, আমি বাতিল করতে পারিনি। তো সেই দেখে তখন থেকেই আমি জেনেছি যে কত রকমের বাঁশ হয়। তারপরে তো আরো হয়েছে, তখন আরো ওগুলো নিয়ে রিসার্চ চলছিল। তা আমাদের সকল ধরনের সকল গাছকে নিয়েই এখন বর্তমানে রিসার্চ চলে, এবং বিশেষ করে যেগুলো আমাদের অর্থনৈতিক দিক থেকে দেশকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে পারে, এই সব ক্ষেত্রে রিসার্চ একটু বেশি করে হয়। সেই সময় আমি যেটা লক্ষ্য করেছিলাম যে আসলে বাঁশের তৈরি ফার্নিচার অনেক সুন্দরও হতে পারে, অনেক মজবুতও হতে পারে। মূল সমস্যা যেটা ছিল সেটা হলো দামের অনেক তফাৎ। সাধারণ কাঠের জিনিস আমরা যত কম দামে পাই, বাঁশের তৈরি জিনিস সেই তুলনায় দাম অনেক বেশি। সেই জন্য চাহিদা পূরণ করার মতো যোগ্যতা তাদের থাকলেও মূল্য সেইভাবে যেভাবে নির্ধারণ করা হয় সেটা সাধারণ মানুষের ক্রয় ক্ষমতার বাইরে থাকে। তো সেই জন্য এই ধরনের কোনো সিস্টেম যদি আপনারা শিখিয়ে দিয়ে যেতে পারেন, যে যাতে কম খরচে সাধারণ মানুষের গ্রহণযোগ্যতার মধ্যে দাম রেখে এই বাঁশটাকে আমরা, এই বাঁশ শিল্পটাকে আমরা এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে পারি, তাহলে হয়তো আমাদের দেশে মানুষে আরো বাঁশ চাষে উদ্বুদ্ধ হবে, তাই না? আজকাল আমরা অর্থনৈতিক দিক অতিরিক্ত খেয়াল করি, তারপরে কি খেয়াল করি? এই মানে বন অধিদপ্তরের সঙ্গে যুক্ত হয়ে যেটা জেনেছি, কার্বনের শোষণ কতটুকু করে সেই গাছ। তো সেই হিসেবেও বাঁশ অবশ্যই এগিয়ে আছে। একসময় সুন্দরবনের দাম মানুষে মোটে দিত না। ওই গাছগুলো কি হয়, কেটে টেটে জ্বালিয়ে টালিয়ে শেষ করতো, দেশলাই বানাতো, অমুক তমুক। কিন্তু এখন মানুষ বুঝতে পারে যে না, সুন্দরবনে থাকার দরকার আছে। কারণ আমরা বাঁচতে গেলে যে নির্মল বায়ুর প্রয়োজন আছে, কার্বন শোষণ করার দরকার আছে, সেটা সুন্দরবন করে। তো সেই জন্য আগে যে হারে মানুষে গাছ কেটে নিয়ে উজাড় করে ফেলতো, এখন সেই সিস্টেমটা কিন্তু বন্ধ হয়েছে। কিন্তু সেটা হলো একেবারে বাংলাদেশের একেবারে দক্ষিণ অঞ্চলে। কিন্তু আমাদের লোকালয় যেখান থেকে বেশি মানুষের বসবাস, সুন্দরবন যেখানে তা ক্রস করে এসে তারপরে মানুষ, সুন্দরবনের ভিতরে কিন্তু কোনো মানুষ নেই। কিন্তু আমাদের লোকালয়ে আমরা যে পরিমাণ কার্বন নিঃসারিত হয়ে থাকে দেখি, সেটাকে শোষণ করার মতো কোনো কিছুই থাকে না। গাছ আছে কোনো জায়গায়, গ্রাম অঞ্চলে, শহরে তো মোটেও নেই। সেগুলো আস্তে 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 আমরা আমাদের চিন্তাধারার মধ্যে নিয়ে আসছি, কারণ আমাদেরকে বাঁচতে হবে সুস্থ হয়ে। এবং পৃথিবীর কোন দেশ কত কার্বন নিঃসরণ করলো, তাতে আমাদের কি ক্ষতি হলো, এইটা রিসার্চ করে সময় না নষ্ট করে আমরা যদি আমাদের কার্বনকে কি করে মানে সঞ্চয় ধরে রাখার মতো পরিবেশ সৃষ্টি করতে পারি, সেটা আমার মনে হয় যে বেশি কাজে দেবে। কারণ অন্যদেরকে বলে চোরা না শোনে ধর্মের কাহিনী, তাদেরকে যাই বলেন না কেন তারা কখনোই শুনবে না, নিজের স্বার্থ বাদ দিয়ে পরের স্বার্থের কথা। সেই জন্য সকল কাজে যেরকম আমাদের দেশ এখন স্বয়ংসম্পূর্ণতার দিকে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে, আমরাও চেষ্টা করব যে আমাদের পরিবেশ যেন সেইভাবে সুরক্ষিত থাকে এবং সেজন্য কার্বন নিঃসরণ যতটুকুই আমাদের দেশ করুক না কেন ততটুকু অন্তত যেন শোষণ করার মতো ক্ষমতা আমাদের দেশ তৈরি করতে পারে বৃক্ষরোপণের মাধ্যমে। তো যাই হোক, এবং বিভিন্ন ধরনের বাঁশের প্রয়োজনীয়তা কিন্তু বিভিন্ন রকম কাজে। তো যাই হোক, আপনারা বিএফআরআই যে কাজটা করে থাকেন, আপনাদের সঙ্গে আজকের এই প্রোগ্রামের পর তারা হয়তো আরো নতুন কিছু পথ চোখের সামনে দেখতে পারবেন। তো যাই হোক, আপনাদের সকলের সহযোগিতায় যদি আমাদের বাংলাদেশও কোনো দিক থেকে এগিয়ে থাকে, তাদের সেই জ্ঞানগুলি আপনারা নিয়ে যাবেন, আপনাদের জ্ঞান তাদেরকে দেবেন। কারণ এখন বিশ্ব কিন্তু ভ্রাতৃত্বের দিকে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে। যদিও ইউক্রেন রাশিয়া যুদ্ধ করে বেড়াক, আসলে সারা বিশ্ববাসীর এখন সেই যুদ্ধ করার মানসিকতা নেই। প্রত্যেকের সঙ্গে সৌভ্রাতৃত্ব বজায় রেখে চলতে চায়। তো সেই হিসাবে আমরা প্রত্যেকের টেকনোলজি দিয়ে কি যেভাবে পারি প্রত্যেকের পাশে এসে দাঁড়াতে পারি, তাহলেই আমাদের সারা বিশ্বের উন্নতি। দেখেছেন আপনারা করোনার সময় অনেক দেশ আমাদেরকে হেল্প করছে, আবার আমরাও ছোটখাটো অনেক দেশকে হেল্প করতে পেরেছি। তো সেটা হলো সৌভ্রাতৃত্বের কারণে। যে কোনো ক্ষেত্রে নিজেদেরকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে হবে, প্রতিবেশীদের বাদ দিয়ে নয়। সবাই যদি আমরা ভালো থাকি তাহলেই কিন্তু আমরা বিশ্ববাসী ভালো থাকবো। আমি অনেক বড় লোক থাকবো, আমার পাশের বাড়ির লোকটি যদি অতিরিক্ত গরিব থাকে, তার সেই কষ্টগুলি কিন্তু আমার সুন্দর জীবনে একটি বাধা সৃষ্টি করতে পারে। অন্তত মানসিকভাবে আমরা কষ্ট পেতেই থাকি, তাই না? তো সেই জন্য প্রত্যেকের সহযোগিতায় আমরা একই সঙ্গে যদি পৃথিবীটাকে আরো সুন্দর পৃথিবীতে মানে পরিণত করতে পারি, সেটাই আমাদের লক্ষ্য হওয়া উচিত। আর সেই ক্ষেত্রেই আমি বলবো যে আপনারা হয়তো অনেকে মনে করছেন বাঁশ কি একটা জিনিস, সেরকম কিছুই না। কিন্তু কার্বন শোষণের জন্য সেটা যে একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ গাছ, সেটা আপনারা নির্ধারণ করেছেন এবং তাকে অর্থনৈতিকভাবে নিজেদেরকে স্বাবলম্বী করার জন্য প্রত্যেক মানুষ যদি বোঝে যে হ্যাঁ এটা একটা অর্থকরী কিছু ব্যাপার, তাহলে প্রত্যেকের ঘরে ঘরে অন্তত যে অঞ্চলগুলোতে আজও বাঁশ হতে পারে তারা এগিয়ে আসবে। তা যাই হোক, আমি আর কথা বাড়াতে চাই না, কারণ আমার মনটা হলো আরেকদিকে চলে গেছে। আপনাদের কার্যক্রম যেরকম চলছে ওরকম চলবে। আমি চাইবো আমি একা চলে যাবো, বাকি সবাই এখানে থাকবেন। ধন্যবাদ সকলকে। খোদা হাফেজ। জয় বাংলা, জয় বঙ্গবন্ধু।
খুব ভালো লাগলো।
আপনারা সবাই বসেন, কেউ উঠবেন না, কেউ উঠবেন না, আমি খালি চলে যাই।
Um, we would like to call Mr. Lokesh Dubey to make his presentation now. Lokesh, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you. I can hear you very well.
Lokesh is a Senior Standards Manager for Land Use and Forest Portfolio at the Gold Standard Foundation. Prior to this, Lokesh worked at NatCom, cell of the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. He was instrumental in preparing India's biennial update reports and was part of India's delegation to UNFCCC and IPCC as a consultant with Emergent Ventures India and as a greenhouse gas auditor with TUV Nord. Lokesh has handled several forest carbon projects and one of the pioneering studies on bamboo carbon credits in Nagaland. A fellow of International Society for Tropical Ecology and recipient of AquaGuard Young Scientist Award from Eureka Forbes. Lokesh is also on the roster of experts of UNFCCC for review of greenhouse gas inventories, Lokesh has a PhD on carbon forestry from Terry School of Advanced Studies, New Delhi, and has several publications to his credit. Lokesh, please start.
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. Um, lot has been said about bamboo since the program has begun, so I would not go into the importance of bamboo and how it uh, interacts with the climate and what is its role in climate change mitigation and all, but would certainly deliberate upon its role into the carbon market, what barriers we are facing, and how we can overcome these barriers. Um, as was introduced, I work for the gold standard, which is an international standard in the carbon market. It is a voluntary standard. It was founded in 2003, and its most recent carbon market scheme is called Gold Standard for the Global Goals, that was launched in 2017. um, so this is one of the pioneering standards in the way, in the meaning that it introduced the mandatory reporting of sustainable development goals for all carbon projects. So any project to be certified with the gold standard necessarily has to be subscribing to at least three sustainable development goals, and one of them should be goal 13, that is climate action. Uh, this is a chart showing what sectors in bamboo would be having potential in the carbon market. So, fuel, timber, carbon sequestration, furniture, all these become part of the overarching framework in the carbon market. How it would contribute, we will see in the later slides. But before that, let me just recap to what was done earlier in bamboo carbon markets context. This was a study that was done way back in 2008 and 9. Mr. Kamesh Salam, who is steering here, is was instrumental in this program. I worked in this feasibility study. It was in Nagaland, and we also scaled up the study for entire India and came up with some reduction potentials, and also how to mainframe all these activities in the carbon market at that time. Um, the result was that annual abatement potential of bamboo based activities, including uh, plantations and direct burning, gasification products, and composite products, it would be around 18 to 26 tons of CO2 every year. This was a potential that was based on the field data and was calibrated against requirements against different species that grow in Northeast India. So after this study was concluded, a lot has changed. Kyoto Protocol first commitment period has ended in 2012. We have new guidelines of IPCC on harvested wood products that released in 2013. Then Paris Agreement was adopted in 2015, and Gold Standard launched its global goals standard for global goals in 2017. IPCC guidelines again refined in 2019, and we also have Paris Agreement in force now, which has superseded the Kyoto Protocol in 2021. That means a lot has changed. There's a requirement of revisiting the study and also finding what exactly suits to the newfound requirements in the Paris Agreement. So this is an attempt to do that, and just to give a brief background on the international carbon market structures. So traditionally, the market has been in two kind of structures. One is the compliance market, which is regulated by a legislation or a convention or a protocol, both national mechanisms as well as international mechanisms, and the voluntary structure in parallel, which is not governed by an umbrella regulator, which is not governed by legislation, but is followed by organizations for the sake of reduction of their footprints of emission products and services on a voluntary basis. International carbon market in compliance mechanism was in developing countries was mostly in the form of clean development mechanism, which was an international mechanism under the Kyoto Protocol. Similarly, Paris Agreement also launched its Article 6 mechanisms, wherein there are three different kinds of mechanisms. Just as Article 6.2 talks about internationally transferable mitigation outcomes. 6.4 talks about the sustainable development mechanism, which is said to be the successor of CDM, and Article 6.8 that talks about non-market approaches. Article 6.4 is something which is said to be a successor of CDM, and it also is developing rules that would be applied for projects which will be transitioned into this mechanism, and is also supposed to recognize the accounting framework and methodologies which were developed in CDM. Apart from that, countries have their subnational mechanisms. For example, California has their compliance program, China has their own program, Japan has their joint crediting mechanism. All these have developed their own rules, mechanisms, and processes. Independently, VCS, gold standard, and other voluntary standards have also developed. So all these are making actually a kind of network-like structure wherein 1 ton of carbon is fungible with another ton in the carbon market as a carbon credit. Carbon credit is nothing but a reduction or removal of 1 ton of CO2 from the atmosphere. So this was a recent study that was published by an independent organization, the OCO Institute, which conducted comparison of different standards and found what is the environmental and social safeguards in the standards which are in the carbon market. And according to this study, gold standard has been the standard which is compliant in all the criteria that they selected for this study for environmental and social safeguards. Um, so to include bamboo in the carbon market, to mainstream bamboo in the carbon market, the assessment would be against different concepts of the market, which is baseline, what would have happened in absence of the bamboo activities, what would have been in the place where bamboo is being planted on the land, and also where it is being applied, what would be the activity uh, that would be taking place. Additionality means this activity would not have been possible on its own, but it would require carbon market push to become successful. Monitoring requirements that would translate the raw data into emission reductions, into removals, ton of CO2. So from the biomass data to ton CO2 data, monitoring would be required for the field information methodology. So all these this accounting is to be done according to a particular framework which is approved by standard bodies in the form of methodologies. And these methodologies are at times they are region specific, at times they are activity specific. So methodologies are very important part of the entire exercise. Then eligibility of land. So for all the lands which are brought in the carbon market for carbon sequestration must follow certain rules. For example, they should not have led to any deforestation in the past, and should the land should be a degraded land. So different standards have their different rules, but umbrella rule is that the activity of afforestation, reforestation, or in this case bamboo plantation, should not be done on a land which previously contained forest. Scale of projects is generally projects are small scale and large scale. Then there is another scale which is called micro scale. So bamboo is something which fits into all these scales because of its virtue of having virtue of its sporadic nature, and it's not being limited by the area thresholds, so it can be applied in all scales in the carbon market. Then program of activity is a concept in which different activities enter in the cycle of a program. So a program is launched instead of project, but small activities can be introduced in the program as the time passes. So bamboo is a suitable activity to be included as voluntary activity in the program of activity, and that gives the power of scaling up the project at a large area over a good period of time, the great horizon of time. In this entire exercise, different market players would be in picture. Project developer would be there, consultants would be preparing documentation, buyers would be purchasing credits, validation verification bodies will be auditing the documents prepared by consultants, standard bodies will be setting rules and issuing the credits, then coordinating management entities in POA would be coordinating the program at the program level, at the highest level, and on the ground there would be different VP implementers. So that's the structure which is followed in the carbon market. So in erstwhile clean development mechanism, bamboo was recognized as a eligible species, and in 19th meeting of AR working group, UNFCCC asked countries to clarify if their forest definition included bamboo as equivalent of forestries or not. In response, only three countries till date have declared bamboo within forest definition, that is Cambodia, Philippines, and Togo. And this is possibly because bamboo is not recognized as a tree in most of the countries and is regarded as grass because of its specific classification in taxonomy. Uh, it has dual nature, it has dual what do we call it, properties. So uh, in a way it is helpful because once it is in forest definition, it can fetch the forest carbon benefits, and once if it is not fetching those benefits, those land areas will be treated as agricultural areas, and then these areas can be used for other purposes, for new bamboo plantations. So both ways uh, it is helpful. In CDM, there was no specific methodology for bamboo, but there are two methodologies which are one is large scale consolidated methodology and another is small scale methodology, which would be applicable for bamboo, but these are not explicitly mentioning bamboo as eligible species, but uh, context specific cases this can be applied. Vera is again a voluntary carbon standard which has a methodology which may be applicable to bamboo, but again it doesn't explicitly mention bamboo as eligible one. It has one bamboo project registered on this methodology. Then gold standard has one methodology, which is GSAR methodology, and we have recently published its amended version just a couple of months back, in which we explicitly highlighted that bamboo is eligible under this methodology. So bamboo is now fully eligible under the gold standard to be taken up as a independent project. Chinese scheme of certified emission reductions is specifically having two different specific methodologies for bamboo for producing carbon sinks through bamboo afforestation projects and from bamboo forest management. Other than this, gold standard has recently also decided to go ahead with revegetation activities in addition to afforestation and reforestation. So any area that doesn't qualify under afforestation or reforestation would be eligible for revegetation activity. So that also makes bamboo eligible for those areas. So these are some new developments that has happened. I would not go into carbon pool of bamboo forest. Everyone present here knows about the carbon pools, the five carbon pools that we have in bamboo. Measurement of bamboo biomass using its diameter and height and area data, and also clump based measurement, diameter of bamboo culm, and then converting it to the clump diameter if that is not available. And also using the root shoot ratio, we can arrive at the bamboo biomass using different allometric biomass equations that we have. And this is just a snapshot of these equations from different studies, and this is taken from a particular publication. I will just show at the end the reference of that. And these are the root shoot ratios that are available. So meaning I just wanted to highlight that there is ample study that has been done in the bamboo biomass part of the site. What is not available is the application side. So when we sort of use bamboo for the purposes which is energy intensive, for example the building purposes or for the furniture purposes, or for any other purpose which replaces high carbon intensive products, we don't exactly have the data on how much carbon it replaces because of the life cycle assessments not being available for the products that it is replacing. So seeing that there are few action points that would be required in order to integrate bamboo in the carbon market, that is to develop a dedicated methodology for bamboo carbon sequestration that is applicable to different baseline conditions as well as end users. So currently there could be different restrictions in using the methodologies which I just listed. So an overarching methodology with different baseline conditions and different end use need to be developed, and then a different dedicated methodology for bamboo application. For example, buildings would also be required because we don't have bamboo specific methodology for buildings and other applications. Simplified approach suitable for use of community based projects is needed for bamboo projects, because without this, bamboo would be limited in its success, because projects which are coming from bamboo sector are mostly community based, and communities must get benefit at the right time so that there is confidence induced in them to protect bamboo and to cultivate bamboo. Highlighting this additional sustainable development goal benefits that come out of bamboo based mitigation projects is also something that inflects the confidence in the buyer and fetches good prices in the carbon market. So that is also something on which we should be working mostly in terms of MRVing the measurement, reporting, and verification of sustainable development outcomes of bamboo activities. Then potential for application as multi-country program of activity. So we can have multiple countries in one program of activity in the carbon market. Maybe India, Bangladesh, and other Myanmar and neighboring countries can have one single project, or maybe all Eastern Himalayan countries have one single program, and in which all countries participate and launch a joint program. So that is also possible. Timely realization of revenue through forward selling of carbon credits. So normally the seller, they try to wait for the credit realization and then they want to sell in the market. But an approach that would be useful in bamboo sector would be this, that the forward selling is done for carbon credits, and benefits are maximized for communities. And again, branding as nature based solution or natural climate solution would be helpful. That will be more appropriate, more apt with the wave of funding that is available in these solutions. These are some relevant literature that I have also cited in this presentation, and be useful for any practitioner who is working in bamboo in the carbon market. Uh, so this is what I had to discuss with you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
I think we'll have no question now because all the people are tired. We are looking to go for house. Now, dear friends, I have taken the opportunity myself to introduce my friend, the chief research mine for more than 2 decades. Now, the leading person in the forest department has more than 24 years experience in forestry, specialized both in mangroves and also in hill forests. And honestly, I didn't think that we'll get him today because I know because few days back he was in CITES COP and he was very busy. So it's a great opportunity for me to introduce a very good friend of mine, the very potential leading personalities in forest department now. So I would like to elaborate more. So may I request Mr. Chaudhary, please?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, my respected teacher also, and my good friend, Dr. Khairul Alam. Actually, in this session, Bamboo in Climate Change, Integrating Bamboo into Carbon Market, chair of this session, co-chair, are Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Habibun Nahar, Honorable Deputy Minister, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, though she left a couple of minutes ago for her busy schedule today, and other honorable speakers of this session and other dear participants. Good evening to all. Actually, I think this is a good learning session for me. A couple of years ago, I was posted in Chattogram Hill Tracts region from 2000 mid-7 to 2010. That time I had the opportunity to work in bamboo forest. But earlier, already Dr. Khairul said that most of my career, I was posted in the mangrove forest area. So I was interested also in mangroves, and I passed many years in mangroves areas, and I got very few opportunities, only 2.5 years, to work in the hilly regions where bamboo forests are existed. And I think this is a good opportunity for Bangladesh, who are working on the bamboo production, bamboo research, bamboo knowledge dissemination, bamboo products upliftment, and the latest knowledge for bamboo in carbon market to mitigate the climate change situation. And we have already heard 3 presentations, very valuable presentations from our 3 honorable speakers. One from the FAO Bangkok, and this is the Bamboo Resource Assessment and Ecosystem Services, and one from the Bamboo Plantation for the Community from Mark Peters, Indonesia, and the last presentation we have heard bamboo as carbon market, bamboo Dr. Lukesh Dubey from the Gold Standard Foundation, India. Actually, these 3 presentations are very valuable and informative and resourceful also for us. And from these 3 presentations, we have heard that all over the world, we have almost 35 to 40 million hectare bamboo forest in the world. And in Bangladesh, we have not much bamboo forest in Bangladesh, only 0.5 million hectare area covered by the bamboo forest. And all the bamboo forest exist in Bangladesh in the southeastern portion and the northeastern portion. That means the Sylhet region, Chattogram, Hill Tracts, and some in Cox's Bazar areas. But you see the many areas of bamboo patches in the hilly regions are already degraded. So definitely we have many scopes to restore this bamboo forest from where we are getting the bamboos, and these bamboos also providing for the carbon sequestration in hilly regions. And in this regard, I want to share one thing is that in 2018, Bangladesh Forest Department conducted the forest emissions reference level, and we submitted this FRL report to the UNFCCC in 2019, and they accepted our report. And in that report, we found that basically Bangladesh in forestry sector is not the carbon neutrality country. We have carbon emission gap. We found that 1.1 million equivalent million ton equivalent carbon dioxide from Bangladesh forestry sector. This is emission, and 0.8 million ton equivalent carbon dioxide is the removal. So there is a net gap of 0.3 million ton equivalent carbon dioxide. And most interestingly, that we found from that report that most degraded and deforested area are exist in the hilly regions where the bamboo forests are exist. Many of you know definitely that in the southeastern portion of Bangladesh, we have many reserve forests like Kasalang Reserve, Rainkang Reserve, Shangu Reserve, Matamohuri Reserve, and the northeastern portion we have the Raskandi Reserve and Patharia Reserve. In the these six reserve forests actually are very abundant in the bamboo areas. But in the meantime, for many regions, for overexploitation and for over extraction, in the hilly regions, our bamboo forests are already degraded. So, one more information from the Bangladesh Forest Department is that we conducted our national forest inventory in 2019. And from that inventory, we found that in the hilly regions, 1.37 million ton equivalent carbon are exist in our bamboo forest only in the hilly areas, though it is not up to the mark in comparison to the total carbon exist in our total forest area. And you know that though bamboo cannot provide the carbon as like as the forest ecosystems, but it is almost equivalent to the plantation forestry area, and in some cases it is more than the grassland ecosystems. But one more important thing for us that bamboo is the most fast growing grasses and which is uses in many countries as well as in our countries as substitute of timber in many cases. So we are getting matured bamboo from 4 years to 7 years, and we need to wait for getting the timber from a slow growing species or native species, even fast growing species, from 15 years to 40 years. So within these 40 years, we can get eight, eight times. We can get 8 times. If we can calculate the cycle 5 years, we can get 8 times from the 40 years cycle, we can get bamboo. So if we convert this timber to value of timber and value of timber bamboo within the 40 years, I think the value of bamboo will be greater than the value of timber. So this is a good thing for the plantation, bamboo plantation and restoration of the bamboo forest. And all of you know that we are in the decades of ecosystem restoration. The UN declares this decade from 2021 to 2030 is the ecosystem restoration. And forest landscape restoration, which we are telling that the FRL, forest landscape restoration in all over the world. And Bangladesh is not beyond the forest landscape restoration. We are in the process of forest landscape restoration, and currently we are implementing one very a big project named as the Forest Sustainable Forest and Livelihood Project, funded by the World Bank, and we are restoring about 76,000 hectares of forest land through this project. And definitely in some areas we are planting bamboos, as bamboo have many benefits as it is a soil binding materials also. So you know in 2017 huge Rohingya influx in the Cox's Bazar areas, almost 1 million Rohingya came as a refugee, and from that time almost 6,000 acres of forest land have been degraded and deforested due to the huge refugee influx. and a lot of soil erosions already was there. But with the help of the FAO and other partners, we restored a portion of that area and we planted bamboo for soil fixation in that area. And many of you know that for construction of the house of refugee in flux, that time we needed to collect almost 24 million bamboo poles from all over the country to just build their houses in the Rohingya influx areas. So from many aspects, bamboo is contributing to our economy. Bamboo is contributing for sequestration of carbon. Bamboo is contributing for the ecosystems and also for the biodiversity conservation also. And now at present in Canada, Montreal, CBD COP is going on. And from the CBD COP, we will get the post-2020 biodiversity framework. And from that target, definitely Bangladesh will also set how much protected area will be declared in the next 10 years and how many species we need to protect and we need to conserve. We will get this target from the post-2020 global biodiversity framework. And from this target, definitely we need to work together to restore our bamboo forest in the hilly regions. And in many projects, Bangladesh Forest Department is also planting the bamboo, both in the homesteads and also in our forest area also. So we need to disseminate this type of knowledge, which we are gathering from this type of conference. We need to disseminate this type of knowledge to our local community also, so that they can participate enthusiastically to plant the bamboo in their homestead area. And also we need to disseminate and we need to impart the training to the forest community who are living around the forest area in Bangladesh, so that they can participate with the forest department and also with the Forest Research Institute for restoration of the bamboo forest. So finally, I would like to thank the Balipara Foundation for inviting me to as a guest of honor in this auspicious event. Thank you again. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary. So, dear friends, I think this is the last deliberation, except the chairperson. Yeah. So, dear friends, honestly, this is a very good evening for me till today, I say, for this year, because I have no affiliation with any organization. I am floating man. So I got the opportunity to be with this so learned scholar after long, for few years. And today also I am with many of my old friends. And Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change has two very important departments. One is Forest Department, which is dealing with forest extension and management. Another is Forest Research Institute. And I have taken the opportunity from the chair to introduce my two friends, the Chief Conservator of Forest, who has delivered his lecture. Now I am going to introduce my friend, Dr. Rafiqul Haidar. We had worked together for more than 20 years. He has research experience for more than 30 years, starting his career from microbiology, then moved to forest ecology, coastal deforestation, mangrove, and also for a couple of years he had been busy with extension of forest technologies developed by Bangladesh Forest Department through an extension program in the northern part. So I would like to request Dr. Haidar to give a brief about the forestry research in Forest Research Institute. Dr. Haidar, please.
Thank you. A good evening, everybody. My friends, I am delighted. Who is my mentor? Say some words about me. Very long time I am working with him, extension, research, whatever. It's happened in BFRI. He is my boss or mentor. I don't say him boss. He is a mentor. He is a teacher. So that is a very special evening for me. He is introducing me, and also we find some of our colleagues. Anyway, we are going to my presentation. Everybody is tired to listening the presentation. Though there is a 20 or 24 slides, I will go very quickly. Next class, please. My title is Bamboo Resources. I think just I will give you an overview. My another colleague, Dr. Mahabur Rahman, he will give what is the research achievement in BFRI. We will be listening in tomorrow. I think in the whole slides, my focus is that the country has 147 million hectares of land, 2.6 million hectares of forest. That accounts for 17.62% of the country's total land area. And the total population, no need. I think I will go for the forest sector accounts for only 4 point. The present growth rate is 6.9%. The per capita income is US dollar 2,824 according to World Bank, and forest sector accounts 4.14% of the nation's total GDP. As our CCF said, our forest based on mainly eastern sides of the country and northeastern sides of the country. Next. This is the brief of our forest classifications, the broad classifications. There is another some items too. The state forest classified in the 4 broad types. That is mangrove forest, which is the biggest chunk of the forest of our country. That is 0.79, including artificial man-made mangrove forest. And that is hill forest, 0.67. And the total forest accounted 2.6 million hectares, including our 0.02% to million hectares of swamp forest. Next. The next. This is the green mark is our forest area. So in Bangladesh. And next. This is the main factor. Our CCF says only 2 lakh hectares of forest lands which contains bamboos. But in total, with blaze groves, we have 0.5 million hectares of forest land. The 0.2 million is in forest lands, and 0.3 million is in the blaze groves. That is which we call blaze bamboo forest or blaze groves. And our CCF rightly said our bamboo forest is degraded from decades, but Rohingya influx is accelerated in further. So now the forest productivity of forest bamboo is only 20%, which supplies to ours, and 80% bamboo is coming from the blaze groves. Next. This is the 33 species. As earlier we said, the 33 species found in Bangladesh, which belongs to the 9 genera, and this is the genera. Bambusa and Dendrocalamus containing most of the species, and other genera have mostly 1 or 2 species. Next. This is 7 species of hill forest, which is found in the hill forest, and this is the Melacona vexipera, Bambusa tulda. I'm not going through reading, so you have seen. And Melacona vexipera is major species in bamboo forest. And Dendrocalamus hamiltoni, Melacanus capricius, and Sagittaria dolua are the threatened species in Bangladesh right now. Next. This is the only species. Melacona vexipera is the monopodial species in Bangladesh. Rather than all species are claimed for me. Next. Monopodial. Pseudomonopodial. Okay. And this is the list of the 26 species. Some of the species are given here. This is the found in our blaze groves, and which supplies more than 80% of our demand. Next. And this is some of the species of our bamboo groves. Next. This is also some species from our bamboo blaze groves. Next. Next. 10 priority bamboo species of Bangladesh. which are commercially important. So I'm not reading. Next. And this is the bamboo by zone. That is a coastal forest. Actually, in our Sundarbans, there is no bamboo. But in coastal regions, there are some bamboos. This is from our NFI, which is published in 2019. And hill forest have the most of the forest, and then our village groups. And you can see that the total volume is 63,802.7.34 thousand cubic meters. So it is a huge amount. Next. This is a bamboo stocking. We have a study in northern zones. We can say the wrongful divisions, which is situated in the northern part of the Bangladesh, is a hotspot of blaze groves or blaze bamboos. And we have a study in 2019. Is it 2019? 2019 in 4 districts of northern parts, and there is a bamboo stock. Number of grams per households, which is in Nilphamari is highest. That is, Nilphamari is the hotspot of blaze bamboo groves, and we have established there a regional bamboo research and training center to expedite our research findings and also increase the bamboo resources in that area. And we have only 2 species in the northern regions. That is Bambusa balqua and Bambusa longispiculata. I think there is a wrong name. That is Bambusa notans. In the North Bengals, we found only Bambusa balqua and Bambusa notans is dominant, and Bambusa longispiculata is also have, but is a small amount. So this is the findings. Blaze groups have a very potential area where we can cultivate or increase our bamboo resources. Next. Next, please. This is the demand supply situation. This is the figure of up to 2013. You can see at the last slide, 324.6 million comes are deficit in 2013. But though we have no recent statistics, but due to Rohingya floods, the situation is aggravated. And there is a UNDP estimation that in Bangladesh now records 6 crore of bamboo clumps per year. So the supply and demand gap is more widened. Next. This is the conservation strategy. We have in situ conservation situations, and that is conservation natural forest reserves. This is already aggravated. So there is a scope to conserve this or rehabilitate this forest. And some of the areas, Sagrosor Delua and Dendrocolumns longispus and Macroberica are cultivated by some of the forests rather than nearby natural forest. And there is a there is a temple-based conservation. It is also found in the hill tracts. So many tribal peoples are there, so they cultivated bamboo around their temples. And ex situ conservation is mainly done by common peoples and BFRI also. BFRI conserved 33 bamboo species which is found in Bangladesh, and we have a very beautiful bamboo setum. And some botanical gardens also we planted, and conservation plots or demonstration plots, which we started in northern part of the country. We established there a regional bamboo research and training center, and under this, last 3 years, we have established 6 demonstration plots, including 21 bamboo species. Next. This is the bamboo setum. This is the bamboo species conserved in BFRI. And next. This is the propagation methods. Everybody knows, but I say only one word to tissue culture. In Bangladesh, bamboo has a very long cycle for flowering. So seed is rare, almost in case. So the only options is branch cuttings or tissue culture. So we have developed how many species? Now, for branch cutting, 10 species for branch cutting, and tissue culture for 14 species. So protocol is there. So our bamboo forest is degraded. So don't worry. We have a protocol. We have a propagation methods. So if we have any collaboration programs for bamboo rehabilitation, so we can supply the huge amount of seedlings through tissue cultures. Next. This is the scenario of bamboo flowering diversity in our Bangladesh regions. So I cannot read, so you can see that. Say 30 years or more, and then 80 years or more, that is Bambusa vulgaris. So this is the happenings last 3 or 4 decades in Bangladesh. Next. Bamboo harvesting and transportation. I think I will not go for this. Next. Next. Economic value of Bangladesh in value of bamboos in Bangladesh. Actually, it is immense value. Everybody knows. And we have the scope because our forest land is degraded, bamboo forest, and we have the scopes in blaze groves. So we can cash on these renewable resources for enhancing carbon restoration or erosion control or value-added forests, and also the livelihoods of the peoples who are residing around the forest or in the blaze groves. And it is important that everybody, after 5 years, or CCF said, we are waiting for a teak 30 to 40 years, but for bamboo, after 5 years we can harvest. So 8 times production we can do, increase, and also carbon sequestration will be also increased. And there are 3 lakhs peoples. But the management practice is very poor in our country. But people believe that if you keep in bamboo in groves, so it will be good, give more returns. But actually not. After 3 or 4 years, we can start bamboo cuttings. Every year we should cut to the. That's why we can harvest the bamboo very long times. And we have estimation that if we do that, but we can increase the production 3 to 40%. Also maintain the carbon pools. So millions of people are directly or indirectly dependent on this versatile plant in agriculture, housing, water industries, and so on. Next, please. This is the area where in Bangladesh bamboo is used, and mainly in domestic uses, the housing, agriculture, community, and building materials. And recently, Bangladesh Forest Research Institute developed some composite products, and we are trying to find for entrepreneurs who will expand these technologies. And this is the uses, but it is very insignificant. Next. This is the one of the area we can promote, because there is estimate the bamboo comes who are coming, more 30 to 40% comes is not regenerated or generated. So there is no fear. If we started to eat bamboo clumps or bamboo shoots, there will be no decrease or destruction of bamboo clumps. So it is the another avenue we can introduce. And this is the some of the species who are palatable and edible. Next. Rehabilitation, already our CCF said, we can start already rehabilitation, and it should be expedited to regain our lost bamboo forest and also expedite our carbon pools. Next. I think I do not go in details about research. My colleague, Dr. Mahabur Rahman, will give you the presentation tomorrow. But the research is started in BFRI in 1974. And we have worked on propagation, proliferation, and tissue culture also. And now we are working for developing products. Next. Next. Now in Bangladesh, we have ample amount of facilities to conduct research. But the things is need we are looking for is a collaborative research. Otherwise, we are working in a pocket, and we will be remaining in a pocket. So this is the opportunity of what technology we developed or evolved. It will be transmitted to our stakeholders, and that's why we can increase our bamboo resources, increase bamboo carbon pools, and also added value addition, and also help to increase the livelihoods of the common peoples or peoples surrounding the forest areas. This is the about brief of bamboo resources of Bangladesh, and thank you for your precious hearing. Thank you.
Anybody has any questions can please. Nobody? Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum and very good evening. Thank you very much for your nice presentation. I really enjoyed the presentation of all the presenters here, especially the Honorable CCF and Honorable Director of Forestry Research Institute, Bangladesh. This is really a very wonderful evening for me to have this opportunity to be here, to learn something from this seminar as well as the conference. Actually, I don't have any question. I just to say some appreciation of the presentation as well as the organization. And also, I'm very glad to see some of the very senior bamboo friends, especially Dr. Kamal Salam. I found him in 2090 in Thailand World Bamboo Congress. Later on, I found him in the IFRO Congress in 2014 at USA. And finally, in 2017, I found him in the China in another conference on bamboo and research. Anyway, actually, I have a small clarification. I would like to have a small clarification from the director of Forest Research Institute about the demand of bamboo gum. He mentioned that there are a big demand, I mean, very big demand of bamboo, about 6 crore per year. So whether it is included the demand for the Rohingya camp or excluded that one, including Rohingya. Actually, the bamboo demand in the Rohingya camp is 2 crore per year, around 20 million. So rest of the 4 crore, that means 40 millions in our domestic uses for the host communities. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
I think today we'll bring this session to a close. I will just give a brief introduction about myself. I started my career as a designer, industrial designer at the National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, India. From there, because of some projects that I was doing in the northeast of India with the Handloom and Handicrafts Development Corporation, I started working with bamboo. Eventually, that association led to my getting involved in the bamboo sector quite deeply, because I was invited by the National Institute of Design to head BCDI, which was a national level institute that was being formed at Tripura. And I had the opportunity to head that institute in its starting years. And then I started working with bamboo. So since about now, it's almost 22 years since I'm working with bamboo. I've had the opportunity to work in basically design started with design of furniture, then went into structures, then subsequently started working with composite bamboo, both in structures and in furniture. So that today's this is a big opportunity actually. In fact, when I first came to know from Mr. Salam that something like this was happening, I was on a trip to Bangladesh about a month back. So I thought that this would be a good opportunity to come here, visit again. I had the opportunity to visit BFRI, and also met Dr. Alab here. So today's session, I hope, is just a beginning of some opportunity to collaborate with Bangladesh and other regional nations and work systematically on the development of bamboo as a resource in Bangladesh and its utilization. One aspect is that from the government side, which is needed is to have a policy, coherent policy based on utilization of bamboo and its application in various areas that are possible. Housing is one area, furniture is another area, other bamboo products, modern products which lend itself to our present lifestyle. Bamboo definitely has been, I mean, it was used traditionally in many areas, in agriculture, fishery, in day-to-day life. But since we have, I mean, that sort of lifestyle we have come over and progressed further, we need to reapply those skills, reapply the same resource, and to modern ways that can be utilized and used. So tomorrow we'll be having some other presentations which are more relevant, design aspect and the value chain specifically. So I hope you've enjoyed whatever has been discussed till now. I'll take a break.
Thank you very much. I hope to see you again tomorrow. We have 2 sessions left tomorrow. Those are again beyond, like on the value chain, as I said, and also the architect from Vietnam is here. Also, we have got experts from NIT, and I see that a lot of collaboratives we can establish by the end tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you.
এই আপনার 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 এই কথাতে বলি, আমার নাম ছিল পুলহ দাশগুপ্ত, এখন আমি হয়ে গেছি পুলহ বাসগুপ্ত।